Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble, fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake, Eye of Newton. Oh, hi there. I'm Marie from the 2016 ICE Resin Design team, and in spite of how it looks, I was not just trying to cast a spell to get the bubbles out of my resin. I don't need to because I use ice resin, a great jeweler's grade resin that was developed by Lenart Kazmer. Being a jeweler's grade resin, it's thicker than a lot of the epoxy resins that maybe you've used. Not only is it self-leveling and self-doming, but because of those formulations, it will pull out all those pesky bubbles as it cures. With its really long drying time and cure time, can take 8 to 12 hours for your piece to dry, 3 days for it to cure properly, and it's the clearest resin out there, no doubt. It's gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful resin, but I know a lot of people seem to have problems with bubbles, and you really shouldn't with ice resin. So I'm going to show you what you need to do to make sure you don't get those bubbles, and we're going to have some fun. No silly get-up required. So grab yourself some ice resin. Maybe you have some of the reusable mixing cups from ice resin and stir sticks, and come back and we'll play. You can stir along with me. We're just going to mellow out and groove as we stir. So let's see what's happening. Check out my fan that I made for this month's design team challenge. You can check it out on the blog and see a tutorial for it beforehand. I have my cup of resin here, my mixing cup. I accidentally took off the second little line, but I had put a line at the quarter and the ½ ounce, and I filled part A to the quarter and then part B to the ½ ounce. I have not mixed any of it. It's right there. I have my Lenart Kazmer stir stick. It's reusable. They normally look like this, but I tend to file just about everything and customize a lot of my tools. And I have my nitrile gloves. So put your gloves on. This is what you're going to want to do first. And then I'm going to grab my phone, because here's the thing. When working with ice resin, I'm just going to zoom in while I talk to you. When working with resin, even though this is a self-leveling, self-doming, long-curing, jeweler's grade resin designed to release the bubbles, if you take your stir stick and you go in there and you just stir like crazy and then you immediately pour it, you've introduced so much air that it may not be bubble free when you're done. You have to follow the instructions. So the instructions say mix it up 1:1 ratio and then stir for at least 2 minutes. So, oh no, my phone will not register. Okay, my phone won't register my fingerprints through my gloves, so take a glove off. I'm only going to wear one glove, and I am going to set my phone for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That way I do not have to worry about timing myself. And you can do this too. Just set an alarm clock so that all you have to concentrate on is stirring. So let's set it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'll hit start here in a second. And what you're going to want to do is obviously put your stick in and start stirring. So let's start the timer. We're going to do this in real time. so that you can see just how long that takes. 2 minutes is the minimum you want to stir it, and you want to stir slow. You want to get around the edges really good, and it's best to go in one direction. So just really slowly start folding the two parts together. You can lift your stir stick up and put it back down in. You want to scrape your stir stick up on the top, and then you really just want to take your time. You can sing a song in your head. I'm not going to sing out loud and scare all of you away. You can think what you're doing for groceries. Figure out what you're going to cook for your meal. You can concentrate on pouring all this positive energy into the resin as you stir it, but you really just want to take your time and romance the resin. You know, if you're my age, maybe you know or you remember Barry White. Just picture Barry White singing in the background. He's singing and you're stirring and you're just playing with the resin. Now, a lot of people use a lot of different tricks when working with resin, especially if you live in a cold or wet area. I don't. So honestly, I don't have the problems you guys have, except in the wintertime, and then it probably still isn't as cold or wet as y'all are. But as long as where your resin's at, it is about 68 to 72 degrees minimum, you should be fine. I have one of these big lights. I'll take a photo of it and put at the end of the video so that you can see it, that whenever I feel that it's especially humid in the house or especially cold in the house, I will put my resin up under that. You can even take a thermometer and put under the lamp. It's a good shop trick actually, is taking a thermometer and placing it where your piece of jewelry is going to be or your artwork is going to be, and then raising the lamp until that thermometer reads a steady temperature of what temperature you want your resin to be at. And see, the 2 minutes are up and the resin is nicely stirred. If you want to, because I was concentrating on talking to you guys, you can stir it for a little bit longer, or you don't have to. All you want to do is make sure that it's mixed well. You'll see that it's not cloudy anymore. Yes, there's some bubbles in there. I see some bubbles, but I'm not worried about those bubbles because they're going to come to the surface and pop. I'm going to set this aside for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, and as you can see, there are really no bubbles left in the resin. There's a few little ones, but they will come out and rise up as you work on it. I've got these little cabochons that I've been making, and I'm going to just show you how to carefully pour on so that you can see no bubbles, and you just take your time even when you're doing that. And then you can just push it to the edge. Like so. And as you can see, there's really no bubbles in that. Show you how bubble free ice resin is. Oh, my nails are dirty. Put it on the back of my hand. This is the light that I told you about. And this is the largest painting that I resined with the ice resin that you watched me stir up. And as you can see, no bubbles, crystal clear, beautiful glassy surface. See? Super easy and no crazy getup required. No, you don't have to go dye your hair purple and braid it or buy one of these crazy wigs in order to get the bubbles out of your resin. Ice resin simply gets the bubbles out as long as you work it properly. And I love ice resin for that reason. If you'd like to see more of the ways that I use ice resin, check out my blog at www.fromthebreathofdaydreams.com. If you would like to see more of the ways other gals on the design team and past design team members use ice resin in techniques and tutorials for mixed media and jewelry pieces, head on over to the Ice Resin blog at www.iceresin.com. And of course, if you can't wait to get your hands on some ice resin, and let's face it, why wouldn't you want to? Go on over to rangerink.com and order some up. I promise you, you will love ice resin. I love it. One of my favorite mediums to work with, hands down. Until next time, may your muse shine brightly. And if you happen to want to get dressed up and play and cast a spell on your ice resin, and you just happen to video it, let me know. I'd love to see it.